Hey, Training Center, Mike here. Setting up a space, getting the conditions just right for improv to happen can require careful expertise, tireless, sometimes thankless work to get things just right, especially if you don't know what you're doing. Hey.
Next time, ask me first, Mike.
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
This week I talked to someone who absolutely does know what they're doing and certainly knows a thing or two about a careful hand in tirelessly setting the conditions for fun, supportive, and brilliant improv to happen throughout our community. Becca Groner for her work with Play-by-Play, the Lady Bits Jam, and now is going to be coaching the Deep End. Stick around and hear a conversation with Becca right after this, but also would like to say congratulations to our winner from last Thursday evening.
Let's kill the voting right there, Faith. Who's our winner? 1, 2, 3. It is Illinois!
Hello, Becca. How are you?
Good. How about you?
I'm doing all right. Thank you for taking time out of what I can just see from my perspective, a very busy week and busy life that you live to talk with me for
Of course,
just a little
anytime.
bit.
Yeah.
Well, for these little videos for the training center, I always like to talk to people who are either producing or participating in events or shows that are not just good, fun things to go to, but that would be very student relevant. Like if you were someone in the training center who's looking to further, the edification of your improv and growing and nurturing things that you're talking about in class. Those types of events are the events that I'm looking for. And if that's my criteria for talking to people, it is a travesty that I have not talked to you sooner,
I
because
know.
as I was thinking through all the things that you do in the fabric of our community, which are so vast, all of them are just so student relevant to growing as an improviser. What do you have to say for yourself? Does that sound right?
Yeah, I agree with the accusation.
Okay, good.
Guilty.
All right. Well, it's so relevant that I have 5 things, like a top 5 things that I just, if since I have you here, we could talk through those 5 things are just 5 things that came to mind about how relevant Becca is to student life. Number one, Play-by-Play. That's a great show.
Thank you. Yes,
Yeah.
been in the mashup cast. I love that show because first of all, it was created by Kevin Hines in UCB New York, and I love
Brother of Will, is that right?
Brother of Will.
Oh,
Yes,
cool.
and Will actually hosts play-by-play in LA. If you go to
Nice.
UCLA, you can go see them do play-by-play there. But the idea is just to like get some side coaching and also kind of make fun of this art form.
Yeah.
And it's been really playful and a great opportunity to get students to get to know each other. And we do mashup groups, most of the play-by-plays that I host. So I try to find people who are less experienced, more experienced, and get folks to play with each other.
I having had the good fortune to participate in a mashup group before in your play-by-play show, I love having that commentary off to the side because it just draws out a conversation that's happening in everyone's heads regardless. It's just like, but we have it out loud a little bit. But just
Yeah.
like, and as an improviser, if I'm not very clear about a choice, to hear one of the two of you like chime in and be like, wait, who was that again? It's like, oh, right, that is a thing that I need to address. So I find it very helpful.
I'm so glad. That's
Yeah.
the goal is like everyone should feel helped along and like
Yeah.
I'm just sort of either the voice in your head or a voice on stage, like pretending I'm a walk-on, but I'm actually not in the scene with you. I'm just
Yes.
trying to support the scene.
Beautiful. And speaking of supporting people along their improv journeys, not necessarily in the scene with them, but from afar, do I have it correct that you were participating or coaching the Deep End at this time?
Yes. Yes.
Oh,
I
cool.
start like in 2 weeks.
Nice.
So I'm excited to be working with the Deep End. They're a group of mostly recent graduates,
Mm.
and everyone who joins the Deep End cast is on it for a year, and you try out various forms. You work with various coaches in the community. So I'm one of many coaches that the group has already had, and
Yeah.
then the new folks joining us, we'll have a couple coaches beyond me, but excited to try out some different forms, understand how to help everyone grow as an improviser, and just everyone on the troupe will be able to get more stage time everyone knows that that is really helpful when you're trying to become a better improviser. You can't just do so in your class.
Yeah, and I really, in the conception of the deep end and what you just said right there, the experimentation aspect of it, because you'll just try out different forms at different times. Do you have any notion of what you might be wanting to try out with the deep end coming in? Or
It's
are
a
you gonna?
secret. It's a
It's the
deep,
secret.
deep secret locked away in
Got it.
my notes app.
Got it. Well, if anyone gets a hold of Becca's phone, leak that information, please. All right. So that was two for our second thing. Three, Lady Bits Jam that I know has been happening for a long time, and I believe there's one coming up. Is that right?
Yes. I should know the date off the top of my head, but
I think it's on
just
the
pretend
Instagram.
that it's
Yeah.
yeah, it'll show up. I and Mary Elizabeth have been jamming for a while now, and we're lucky that Third Coast lets us use the space. And the purpose of it is to get women and non-binary improvisers in the same room and just like have fun and a really nice, safe, supportive space, and also learn some new improv games or try out something that you've never tried. Try it a long form, even if you've never even taken a class. All are welcome. So bring your friends if they've been interested in improv but haven't signed up for anything yet. We love everyone who comes. It's been a blast.
Because I've always just perceived you as being just wonderful at nurturing and fostering supportive environments, just sort of instrumental, just on stage and off. But also, it certainly happens in the classroom because you were a long time for
Yeah.
teaching in general.
I think I started officially teaching in the pandemic. So I had a Zoom prov class that
Yeah.
was unscripted, and that was really neat. And then started teaching at Third Coast. And yeah, I just love being a teacher. I teach 1, 4, and 5. So if I haven't taught you yet,
It's
but
coming.
yeah,
Just
it'll
wait.
happen. I'll teach. Hopefully, I'll get to meet every student who's
A
ever
promise and a
through
threat
Third Coast.
coming your way. Yeah. Uh, you talked with me before about we catch each other in the hallways occasionally, I think before class, and you were telling me about a Will Hines exercise that you had employed in your class with cards, working on one line at a time, sort of exercises in
Yeah,
class. Uh,
yeah.
and that's an awesome exercise. But also, and you've already mentioned Kevin Hines. You've studied before in previous places. What's some of your improv background that you bring into the Third Coast world?
Yeah, I studied at UCB New York when I was in
Yeah.
college. So big fan of UCB. And I sleep with the manual under my pillow every
Good,
night.
good
As they indoctrinate
for the
you to go.
absorption. Yep.
Exactly. And I also have taken workshops like all over DC. I took a couple different theaters. Dojo Comedy was one
Yeah.
that I really liked. I don't know if they still exist, but
Yeah.
there's also like DC Improv had some awesome stuff. Um, so those are kind of yeah, and then Improv Asylum in Boston when I was studying in Boston, I got to work with the artistic director of that
Awesome.
theater, and then performed at Improv Boston. So yeah, kind of like throughout the Northeast, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm glad to be spreading the love of improv in the Southeast now.
Well, that is a perfect segue into the fifth thing, which is not really a thing, but it's just that I wanted to highlight that I see you as someone who's taken improv not just like, as a staged or as an activity that I do occasionally, but you have adopted it and incorporated it into your life. You are really living that improv life. And I had the good fortune of being on a trip with you recently, and I was watching you at work because you do some virtual coaching sessions, I believe. I don't know exactly what it is, but
Um,
but the way that you are just an improviser in your life is just so evident to me, and I want to call that out. It's you are a consummate improviser on stage and off.
Oh, thank you. Same to you. Yeah. I don't do that job anymore, but
Yeah.
it was a really cool job that was like helping people co-work from home.
Yeah.
And so I would facilitate co-working. I'm actually going to talk about it at Creative Mornings
Yeah.
in 2 weeks. If you've ever been to that, it's a good opportunity for students and also improv community members to just like meet other creative people and
Yeah.
learn ways to, because like if you can't talk about improv all the time, this is something I learned from a UCB teacher.
Uh-huh.
Talk about improv all the time, you have nothing to improvise with.
Yes, the snake eats its tail, and we're all, yeah.
Exactly. So, getting life experience, meeting lots of different types of people is going to inform your character work, your scene work, and help you all around. So, Creative Mornings is a good spot for that. We're going to talk more on March 28th about
There we
what
go.
it's
That's a
like
date.
to, yeah, I
Perfect.
have one date in my mind. Yeah, I think it's actually March 22nd is the Lady Bitch Jam. Speaking
Okay,
of,
there we go.
I don't know if we can trust that, but let's pretend. It's happening, and every femme or non-binary improviser should definitely go.
Excellent.
But yeah, body doubling is cool. Facilitation in general, love doing it. I love how improv has helped me in all the ways, and I hope it helps you and all our students too.
Yeah, I think we're finding something in it. I think that's what keeps us coming back, and it's folks like you who are continuing to provide the opportunities to do that, which is so important. Thank you for hanging out with me for a little bit, Becca, and
Yeah,
I'm sure I will see you around soon.
awesome. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks, Becca.
See you
See
soon.
ya. See
Bye,
ya.
Mike.